when we were there, we did our best. But like you rightly said, how I wish that the foundation we made, they continue to build on it, even if not as fast. But what seemed to have happened is that some of the blocks we had put in place have been removed. Sadly, I would say.
Hello, my great and wonderful people. We welcome you once again to our today's episode of this program. And today, he get this recent interview when we see with the receive right now. When we see one quickly make you watch. This one, the recent interview when we see some lawmakers they gather themselves to go meet up with Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president of this very country, to seek some kind of solid information from this man concerning what they try to do for the House of Senate. And in case you never dey aware, say some senators come together to make sure say they propose a bill. And these senators so not be for one part of this country. Some from the southeast, some from the northern region, some from the southwest. They gather themselves together to make sure say they propose a bill when it be say this presidency would they last for one term, and this one term will be 6 years, so that they no go talk say one term no reach them to do anything, and so many other things when it be say that they propose right now, even as that they also they propose the amendment of our electoral bill and so many other things. And the person will be say they spearhead this group of senators na Imo Ugochinyere. Yes, Senator Imo Ugochinyere. They come together right now to go gather wisdom from the past leaders. And this very person na Olusegun Obasanjo, to make sure say he also guide them for the right informations and the right step when they will pass through to make sure say they achieve this very goal. Although a lot of things they when they discuss for this very video, I want quickly beg una. This interview they very crucial. Help us to share this interview, tag people, and also like, so that YouTube will feel help us recommend them to a lot of people. People they do underground work to make sure say things work for you and for your children. All right, I'll leave you. Take your time to listen to this very video. I'll come back for more.
Yes, I see. My leader, thank you so much. I also thank your team. Yes, and before you this morning, progressive-minded lawmakers, passionate about the growth and stability of Nigeria. I'm here today with
Yes, Excellency. My name is Honorable Peter Nebwe, member representing the good people of Anambra East and West. Excellency, I'm from Anambra State. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellency, my name is Honorable Attorney Matthew Wogu. I represent the good people of Abomis Ngwapala Federal Constituency. I'm from Imo State.
Your Excellency, sir, my name is Abdul Malik Abdul Rahim Danga. I represent Adavioke Federal Constituency. I'm from Kogi State.
Our Father, the Excellency, my name is Honorable Dr. Midala Usman Balami. I represent Askirokpa Hawul Federal Constituency. Your Excellency, I'm from Borno State.
Your Excellency, Kama Ukem Kama is my name. I represent the awesome people of Hozara on the chat and the Federal Constituency and from Ebonyi State. Thank you, sir.
We came this morning, first of all, to express our solidarity with you. Like we do most of the times, we always stop by to greet and learn from your fountain of strong knowledge on development and good governance. And we came this morning also, and we'll start by thanking you for the wonderful things you have done for Nigeria. And we can't thank you enough, because every day is always before us that if not the foundation you laid in 1999, things could have even been worse today. And at that time when you were doing it, most people did not see the future today. but we can see the gains of those reforms in telecommunication that have brought so much digital transformation in Nigeria today and created a lot of sustainable jobs. What you have done with the electricity reform is what is even giving us a little light we have today. And what you have done with civil service reform, what you did with anti-corruption fights that created the agencies that came on board to help in the fights, foreign policies, and so on and so forth. And your vision about self-sufficiency include refining. Imagine if today those refineries that you privatize were working almost like 15, 18 years ago. Today, we will not have pressure on FS. We will not have the PMS supply challenges today. So you saw the future and you work towards building that future. So any reasonable Nigerian will always say, thank you for what you did. And if possible, come to you to learn how we are able to carry those reforms. So we can be able to learn from those things you did in 1999, which if they have been consolidated by successive government in the past, today will not be in these economic challenges that is facing us. So we'll start by saying thank you for what you have done for our country, and also to let you know that these lawmakers here today are passionate and have confidence that Nigeria can still work. And that is why most of us here today are co-sponsors in the bill for political restructuring. We strongly believe that a stable political atmosphere will help our country to grow forward. And that's why we have a proposal for a single-term presidency of 6 years and for power to rotate between North and South, and for all elections in the country to hold in one single day. The reason is that the electoral system has been bastardized over the years. If we can have an election in one day, the bandwagon effect and the insecurity that is associated with the election will not happen, because there will be massive participation, there will be large turnout of people. And you know that with the election in one day, once the accreditation is used to announce the State House of Assembly result, it can no longer change even when you get to presidential. So we believe that in the midst of all this uncertainty, that we can, rejig some of these laws, all elections in one day, and a single term of 6 years, and power to rotate between North and South. This is driven by the reason that the instability that goes with the political process is part of the reason why we're also in this mess, and other restructurings that we are proposing. But we are here today to learn from you. We are here today to interact with you. We are here today to tell you that we're all proud of what you have done. And as young Nigerians who are desirous of a stronger, united, and sustainable Nigeria, and at this time of economic uncertainty and crisis, maybe there'll be one or two things that we all can share, even in the proposed amendment we want to do, and other ways to go about it that can help us to achieve the Nigerian of our dream. So it's more of interaction, it's more of commendation, and more of informing you so that in the House of Representatives, we are committed, especially some of us that are here today, that Nigeria can still work and that we can learn from those who have tried it and have made impact. And that is why we're here to appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
In line with what my colleague had said, this rotation of power between North and South, we are thinking if it can be inculcated in the Constitution Amendment too, so that power could be rotated within the 3 senatorial districts of each state. Take my state, for example, Kogi State, sir. If not by divine intervention, I am from Kogi Central, the Igbira people. It's only one axis that would have been having it. As I'm talking to you now, the Western axis, the Yoruba-speaking part, has not had it. And we don't know whether it will get to their turn. The same thing is happening in Benue State. You know more than I do, sir. We're just pleading to you, the founding fathers, that if this can be looked into, it will down the agitations by several ethnic groups and the problem we are having. Let it be made compulsory that power should rotate within the 3 senatorial districts of each state. Some states are already doing it, but in some places, it's the larger ethnic groups that always want to do it, and it doesn't mean well for this country, sir. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank God also for what He has enabled us to do, and thank those who work with me, because whatever I might have had in mind, what objective I might have set, if not those people who worked closely with me and who supported and who made it happen, joining hands together, we would not have achieved what we have achieved. What I would say is that, well, when we were there, we did our best. But like you rightly said, how I wish that the foundation we made, they continue to build on it, even if not as fast. But what seemed to have happened is that some of the blocks we had put in place have been removed. Sadly, I would say. But what I know about Nigeria, and that is the consolation, and for you and for me, what I know about Nigeria is that if we get it right, the leadership, the team, because one tree does not make a forest. You need a good leader, but you also need the team to work with the leader. And if you get the leadership and the team right, the point is that in a space of 2.5 years, we put the past behind us. In another 10 years, the firm foundation and the edifice on which we can build will be set. And in one generation of about 25 years, we are there, we are gone. But what we have been doing in the past is we take 2 steps forward, 1 step aside, and probably 2 or 3 steps back. And that won't get us anywhere. So, you see, for me, it's not so much the system, except that we have to rethink what we call democracy, the Western liberal democracy, where they talk of loyal opposition. In African system, what we do is we sit down and we get consensus. We get commonality. And after we have done that, there's no opposition, there's no opposition. Everybody comes to, and we move together. Because in that case, we are not, the word for opposition in almost all African languages that I have looked into is enemy. Then what do you do with enemy? Loyal enemy? Nothing like that. Now, and that is what we do. Once you take it, yes, it is yours. The winner takes all. The opposition goes into the wilderness. That is not right. Because you have to join hands together. You don't go into my village and say, look, this is the government, this is the opposition. We run the village together. You can sit down and argue and talk about things and debate and discuss. And when then we move together as a village, as a community. Maybe that's part of what we have to look at. You know, the issue for me, if we get it right, whether you have one term of 6 years, 2 terms of 4 years, or 2 terms of 5 years, where we need to work is our mentality. We have to decarbonize our brain. Brothers, look, if you give him one term of 6 years, they can do the same harm that he will do in 2 terms of 4 years. He will. The only thing is that, well, he will do what he will do over the period of 6 years, whereas over the period of 4 years, if he's not doing well and the system is working, you have an INEC you can trust, you have a system that you can trust, then he will do 4 years and he's not doing well, you vote him out. The point is that, can you vote him out? Our experience has shown that once it's in, you may not be able to vote him out. So we are now looking at, okay, maybe he comes in and do 6 years, you won't have to vote him out or vote him in. But then the harm that can be done in 6 years, I will say I am open to whatever you come up with. But that, to me, is not our main problem. Our main problem is ourselves. And until we take care of ourselves, it doesn't matter. We may have 1 term of 4 years, 1 term of 6 years, 1 term of 7 years. If it's the same people and the same mentality and the same way we do things, it won't change. So our beginning is ourselves, to my mind. Yes, system, yes, democracy. We have to rethink democracy. We have to rethink the form of government. What is the character of the people that are in government? With all due respect, most of them should be behind the bar. And that is the truth. Most of them should be behind the bar. Some should even be in the gallows. Now, if these are the people that are ruling us, then what do you expect? It doesn't matter whether you make, whatever you make it will not. So the point is that the character of the people that are coming to government, their attributes, the sort of people, who are they? In my own part of the world, even when you want to give a daughter to marry, you say, hey, look at the background. What is the pedigree? And that is one thing we really need to think about. How do we select leaders? What should be the character of the leaders we select? What should be their track record? What should be, where should we find them? Are they role models? And I think that's what is the first thing we have to think about. Because it doesn't matter whether you make it 1 term of 6 years, 2 terms of 5 years, 2 terms of 4 years, 2 terms of 3 years, the same people, the same way of doing things, we aren't going to get out of it. So maybe if we look at what should be the criteria for picking and way of doing it, we have, for instance, something in our constitution called federal character. Has federal character pointed out or taken up any government in this country that, look, what you have put together is not federal character enough? Have they done? And then have we got federal character in all the cases that we have had? And yet we have a federal character commission which is constitutional. So, what are we talking about? Look at, in your own case, with all due respect, you are not supposed to fix your salary or your allowances. It's supposed to be done by the revenue mobilization and what?
Fiscal commission. Revenue mobilization and fiscal commission.
Okay. But you decide to pay yourself the allowances that you give yourself, newspaper allowances, pound allowances, sheeting allowances, to give yourself all sorts of things, with all due respect. And you know it's not right. It is not right. It is not right for me to be the one to determine what I pay myself. It's immoral. And then you are doing it. The Senate is doing it. And you beat your chest. And in some cases, even the executive give you what you are not entitled to. You all got 200 million naira. When we were talking about the suffering of the people who put you there, on top of the obscene salary and allowances you give yourself, you got 200 million naira. It's not right. It's not fair. It's not good for this country. So this is the thing we have to do. How do we ask people to suffer? And those people who are suffering, please bear with us when you are not showing any sacrifice. And I'm not showing any sacrifice. You are what you are. I am what I am because I'm a Nigerian. Those people out there are Nigerians. They are entitled. So let us look at things that way. For me, that is what we have to do. And as I've said, and I will keep saying it, we are all sitting on a keg of gunpowder, all of us. If we continue to do what we are doing, which is disregarding the interest of the common man, disregarding the interest of the common man. Yes, we want to bring somebody from another. The point we made, we here in Ogun State, between the central and the east, is where they have been getting government. We've ignored the west. And the truth is that by population, unless the central and the east yield ground to the west, they will never make it. But for me, what is important is good governance. I will agree that yes, let it go round. And if he doesn't perform, remove him. But there are many states, a few other states like that. Kogi is one. Benue is one. Borno?
Yes.
Borno is like that too.
Yes.
Yeah. Where unless there is a yielding of opportunity. I try here with the late Oluni that look, he comes from the world. We didn't make it. I don't know whether putting it in our constitution that look, there will be north-south rotation. What I had hoped was that we will put it by convention rather than by, so that if we see a situation where it is palpably right, but once we did that, and some people thought that not the way to go. But what matters to me is ourselves. Because even if you do that, if you put it there, when Maru Yaradua died, there was move, which is unconstitutional move, that Jonathan will not, who was vice president, and by our constitution, there was move in some quarters that Jonathan should not take over. Why? So I will be with you first, that we will rethink, re-examine Western liberal democracy. That's number one. Two, look, what should be the criteria for bringing people into leadership position, whether at the executive level or at the legislative level, or even at the judiciary level, or any other public, because the civil servants are part and parcel of this exercise. And they can be good civil servants and really serve civilly and conscientiously. They can also be evil servants if they choose to be so. So we need general moral rearmament. General moral rearmament, to look at ourselves and say, yes, we are all wrong, and where we are wrong, then we need to do things differently. We cannot continue to do things the same way that have not worked for us and say, and then if we do that, we are deceiving ourselves. But let us look at things, what must we do differently at the executive level, at the legislative level, at the judicial level, at the civil service level, even at the private sector level. Because we are all in the same boat. And if that boat sinks, we all sink together. But whatever you come with, if we are able to take care of, yes, democracy, let our democracy have African context and African content. Because Western liberal democracy began from monarchy, they can be loyal opposition to the monarchy. In our own case, because we have the only thing we can be loyal to is our country, which is invincible. as some people will say. So, not a loyal opposition, but a partnership opposition that will partner with the government, see things together, debate, dialogue, and come to consensus and move on. One of the things that is ridiculous about this country is the new government comes in and they say, for the first time ever, as if Nigeria has never existed. For the first time ever, this is being done. You talk about the refinery in your opening remark. I went, when I was president, I went and called Shell. I said, Shell, look, come and help us. Run the refinery. Take part. You can take 10%, you can take 20%, but come on. They say no. I say, okay, all right. If you don't want to take equity, come and run it for me. They say no. So they left. I then called their head one-on-one. I said, sit down with me. Why do you turn down? They gave me 5 reasons. One, they said, our refineries are small. I think Port Harcourt is 60,000 barrels a day. And I think that's Port Harcourt. Kaduna is maybe 100. I think Warri is the largest, I think, maybe 120. And they said to me then that, look, refinery is about 250,000 barrels a day. So our refinery is small. 2, they said, look, even we run our refineries as a service, but we make sure that we do not run it at a loss. But we make substantial part of our profit in the upstream. So, the refinery, if you run it well, you will break even and make a small profit. But if you don't run it well, you will run it at a loss. 3, they say our refinery, the way we have managed it, the way we have serviced it, is not the way that refinery should be serviced. So they don't want to get involved in that. 4, they said to me, the corruption around our refinery, they did not want to get involved. When they told me all that, I was completely numb. And then some Nigerians got together. They paid 750 million. And God has sent this one. My successor said he turned it back. I ran to him and I said, look, you know this is not right. He said, well, NNPC said they can do it. I said, NNPC cannot do it. NNPC, I think you are investigating $1.5 billion that NNPC has spent on refineries since then, and the refineries will not work. But I told my successor that the refineries, from what I have heard and know, will not work. And when you want to sell it, you will not get anybody to buy it for $200 million as scrap. And that is the situation we are in. So why do we do this type of thing to ourselves? NNPC knew that they cannot. But they knew that they can eat and carry on with the corruption that was going on in NNPC. And when people were there they put pressure. In a civilized society, those people should be in jail. Why do we do this to ourselves? And that is NNPC. Take anything. National Shipping Line, the story of it. Nigeria Airways, the story of it. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why? Look, in 1979, I think almost all those people who worked with me in the Ministry of Agriculture, maybe they're all gone, they went out in July 1979 and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture came with the report that that year we will be self-sufficient in rice. If not 1979, by 1980, what they have seen in the field. We banned importation of rice. When our successor came, led by Alhaji Shim Shakari, they lifted because the party leaders said they want to import rice. They lifted. I tell you the story of one of the importers. He got import license. He ordered rice to be imported from America. And the one who told me the story was the Nigerian ambassador in New York. Because the man who imported the rice is from his town. When he has done the importation, everything has been done, he asked them to add $5 million on top, which they did. The supplier did. Then they were afraid. They said, look, we may not get our money because it's an ad, you get your money. So they did. After they have done it and the money has been paid, he went to America to get his own share. He was expecting $2.5 million. They gave him $1 million. And he went to report to this ambassador, who then called these people. And the ambassador said, we will not tolerate anybody cheating a Nigerian and all that. The supplier then said, hey, Mr. Ambassador, you don't understand what you are saying. Look, this is what happened. The order was made. We made the order. Prince was a prince. Prince asked us to add $5 million. We took a risk, and we did. We never thought we would get the money. We got the money, and then he came, he wanted 50%. No, he didn't take any risk. We took all the risk. We gave him $1 million. That is your country. And your leader. And your people. Why do we do that to ourselves? For money. And you can multiply this. You can go on. So we have to decarbonize our brain. We have to wash ourselves clean of the dirt. And then we have to look at the system, as you rightly said. And I believe the beginning should be what type of democracy we have. I believe our democracy, yes, it must be democracy. look for a name for it. I've called it Afro democracy. Let it have sufficient content, sufficient context of our own way of life. If you went to my village 50 years ago and you said government wants to do something in my village, and you want a man who will take the money, will be treasurer, and you point at a man that is light-fingered, my people in the village will not say, don't take the man because he's light-fingered. They will say, oh, you want to take John? No, John's farm is far. When we need him, he will be at we call it Okwegon. That's far. But take David. David's farm is nearby. That's what they will tell you. They will say to you. But today it won't happen that way because John will buy everybody. It won't happen. And if today John will buy everybody. And that is what we have. So let us look at these. What can we do? I have watched growing up at a native court, say, Kanga. They've taken you before the court that you have stolen. And then the judge said, Ikenga, which Ikenga are you? The Ikenga of this compound. Who is your father there? My father was the cocoa producer. They said, oh, that's your father, and that's your compound. In that family, they don't steal. Discharged and acquitted. Now, what that does for you, one, it makes you feel that, oh, even if you have been stealing, you have to stop stealing. Because your name, your family, your pedigree, where is that today? Even when the man is stealing, they will say, now he alone go steal, leave him. So we have a lot to do. For me, I will again thank you for coming. I believe what you are doing is very important. We should never stop looking at our system, but let us look at ourselves. We have to reposition ourselves. And the harm that we are doing to ourselves in Nigeria, we are not doing to Nigeria alone. We are doing to West Africa. We are doing to Africa. And we are doing to the black race all over the world. Because God doesn't make a mistake. We have the largest concentration of black people in the world in this small land area called Nigeria. And if the black man will make it, it has to be Nigeria leading the black man from making it. To the extent that we are not making it, we are disappointing ourselves. We are disappointing our region of West Africa. We are disappointing our continent of Africa. And we are disappointing the black man everywhere in the world. They look up to us. If God has put the largest concentration of black men here, God expects something better than what we are doing. So I'm all with you, but let us to go about it the right way. The right way meaning let us look at ourselves. It can't go on the way it's going on. And the youth, whatever we may say to them or do to them, what they are demanding is what is the word that is legitimate. As I said, you are what you are today because you are a Nigerian. I am what I am today because I'm a Nigerian. So why should they be Nigerian and be languishing in poverty? Why? And then they make demand for that. And we are not listening to them. They make demand for that. And we are treating it with levity. We are sitting on the keg of gunpowder. They are frustrated, they are desperate, they are angry, they are hungry, they are unemployed, they are in abject poverty. What do we expect? Those boys and girls that have tried to go over the Sahara and go over the Mediterranean, they had 3 hurdles to cross. The Sahara, the ill treatment in the Mediterranean country on this side, whether it's like Algeria, or Libya, or wherever, they go through hell. Then the Mediterranean. Then when they landed on the other side, some of them came here. I listened to them and I was weeping. Now, why should they go through that? Because what you and I have not given them the attention that they deserve. And that's it. So I am here with you, and I will be here with you, but let us get it right, and let us do it right. Thank you very much.
All right, my great and wonderful people. I believe see all of you don't listen to the details and the move of these very senators. And equally, the advice of Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president of this very country. I quite understand, say, a lot of people no want to listen to anything from people like Obasanjo, being that, yes, it was twice the former president of this country and also one-time head of states. And the reason why BC will not quickly, they put aside the words of these people not pass BC, during their time they try. Things not spoil rich like this. Even as we see they complain during their time, say they get their own error. But it no worse rich as it day today. Leadership now progressive. It's for see better, just as he talked just now, say, as those people want to visit the con, they're supposed to also add little to where it be see the for meter, but they cause everything to damage. Not be in own faults. It do your own best. You understand me? All right, I'll leave you to share your own opinion with us in the comment section, even as we draw the line here. Help us to share, tag people, and also leave your comment for the comment section. As we will see you again when we see you. Remember, we love you all. Bye-bye.